Warning, this video is going to have a lot of ranting. Hello everyone, welcome back to another video here on the channel, Bella's Bookshelves. I'm your host, Bella, and today I am doing a very different video from what I usually do, or at least from what I've done so far. This is basically going to be not exactly an essay video, more so a rant video about something that I am very passionate about, and I have to do this. Mainly because I alluded to it in my other video, and so I thought, why not just do it right now and just get it out of the way. And if you saw the title of the video, which obviously you did, this video is about love triangles. Yes, if you saw my previous video of me going through my TBR list, I did briefly mention that I hate love triangles with a passion. I hate them. I really don't get them, and no. Warning, this video is going to have a lot of ranting. But the thing is, love triangles on the surface seem innocent enough, but when you really dive into them and how they work, they really don't make sense. And this is what this video is going to be about. The problems with love triangles. That's today's video. Now, my dislike of love triangles didn't just come out of nowhere. No, it grew somewhere. Now see, when I was little, no, seriously, my dislike and hatred of love triangles started way back when I was younger. And I'm gonna tell you guys all about why and how it started. But if you don't want to know, then you can skip to like this timestamp that I'm probably gonna put like right here or something like that. If you are that person who doesn't want to hear the backstory and you just want to know the actual issues with love triangles, go ahead and skip. But for those of you who are interested, it's story time! So, my dislike of love triangles started a very long time ago, and it all started with the very first love triangle I was introduced to as a kid. And it actually came from the Lego Ninjago show. Okay, when I was younger, I was a big Ninjago fan. I loved Ninjago. I was also a big Lego person too. But I loved the show. I thought it was funny. I thought it was interesting. This is younger me, okay? Nowadays, I think the show is ridiculous at this point. But for fellow Ninjago fans out there, already you're probably figuring out what I'm going to be talking about. For those of you who don't know the show, or at least the main part of the show, which spans 10 seasons, there was an infamous love triangle at one point in the show. It started in the 3rd season, and it proceeded to go on for 3 more seasons after that. And it was really painful and really unnecessary. So let me dive into why. Again, this is the whole reason why I hate love triangles to begin with. So, okay, let me introduce you to our 2 characters. We've got one, his name is Jay. He is the master of lightning. Yes, by the way, all these characters are ninjas, if you haven't figured it out. Anyways, he likes this character, Nia. At first, she is simply one of the other characters' sister. Then she turns out to be a samurai, and she goes also become a ninja and the elemental master of water. But we're not exactly going to focus on that aspect of the story. We are just focusing on the fact that they liked each other, and eventually in the 2nd season, they became a thing and they started to date. Woohoo, great ship. Loved it, totally there for it, right? No, actually looking back on it, it was a really toxic ship even to this day, or well, at least from the last seasons I saw of the 2nd part of the show. But then comes around the 3rd season, where basically there was this whole situation where this character Nia, she had the chance to try out this like perfect match, 100% compatibility matchmaking machine. And so she's like, oh yeah, it's probably gonna be Jay, because you know, young love is perfect and lasts forever. No, the person who ends up being her perfect match, 100% compatible, is actually another member of the ninja team, and this guy's name is Cole. He is the elemental master of Earth, a bit more serious than Jay, and just, yeah. And because this machine tells her that he's her perfect match, she instantly starts to think of other possibilities and starts thinking about him. I was right at the good part of my rant. Now, right off the bat, we have a problem here. See, even though you are 100% compatible with someone doesn't mean you have romantic feelings for them. Being compatible doesn't mean you instantly like the person. Compatible necessarily just means that, your strengths complement their weaknesses complement your strengths. You just work together well on like personality level, strengths, weaknesses levels, talents level. It does not mean anything romantically. So that's why I don't know why this character Nia, she started thinking about him romantically. And then, as if that's not bad enough, she even starts to kind of like not necessarily cheat on Jay behind his back, but there's this one sequence where when she's thinking about Cole and he walks in the room, they like hold hands for a few seconds until then Jay walks in. But anyway, this whole thing gets out, the love triangle begins, and it proceeds to go on through seasons 3, season 4, season 5, and finally gets resolved in season 6, where Nia and Jay do finally become officially a thing, and Nia no longer cares about Cole. But the thing is, the big major problem throughout seasons 3 to season 6 is that Nia is the one who literally brought this on herself. But then throughout the seasons, when the two fight over her, she proceeds to blame them for the whole thing, when it's like, girl, you were the one who initiated this whole mess. If you would just make up your mind, my word, girl, and just solve this whole problem, because it's your mess and you're not fixing it. And instead, you're blaming your problems on someone else and other people, and it's just... Now I get it. It's a kid's show. But I was what? 10 and 11? No, maybe... in between 9 and 11 at the time, and that has stuck with me to this day. And it was the very first love triangle I was introduced to, and I hated it. I hated it so much. At least back then, I was a huge JS shipper, so I was like, girl, hello, Jay and Nia, they are the ultimate thing. Those people who ship her with Cole, nuh-uh, they don't know what they're talking about. And yeah, I think that is the thing that really started me disliking love triangles. Oh, okay. So that was my whole backstory of why I don't like love triangles. Now, I get it. Some people do. Some people, for whatever reason, do find entertainment in the whole, like, ooh, who's she gonna pick situation, but I don't find enjoyment in it at all, because half the time, to me, it's so clear who she's better off with, and I'm just like, pick him! Pick him! He is the one for you! It's so clear! Girl, you're so dumb! And with that out of the way, let's get into the actual problems with love triangles these days. Now, don't get me wrong. Even though something has a love triangle doesn't mean I won't read it. There have been multiple different things that I've read that have had love triangles, and I haven't totally DNF'd the book just because of that. It's not a complete turn off for me. But if anything, reading the multiple love triangles I've read, if anything, I've found more problems with them and things that have actually come up that really don't make sense. And so I'm going to tell you guys what I think are the problems with love triangles these days. I'm going to be giving you guys 3 points as to why I think people need to start rethinking how they're writing love triangles, because from a logical sense, it's really not making sense. Now, I know some of you are going to be like, Bella, this is just fiction. These are just books. These characters aren't even real. Why are you making such a big deal about this? Well, here's my answer. Yes, it's fiction, but these characters are necessarily modeled after real people and how people actually think in the real world. If you're going to model your characters after real people, as in try to make them as realistic as possible, why are you going to give yourself all these problems and write these situations that could just be solved in an instant just like that? It really doesn't make sense, and it just frustrates me and makes me want to yell at the characters. Now, I know some people do think yelling at the characters is good, and I do agree in some cases it is, but this is not a good type of yelling at the characters. It's me wanting to throw the book across the room because I'm just like, wake up. So anyways, let's get on to my 3 points of what is wrong with love triangles these days. Number 1, the two guys, the two love interests, are exact opposites of each other. No, I'm not saying like, they have slight differences here and there. I mean, they are exact opposites of each other. This is the case with this book that I tried a few weeks ago. Ended up DNFing it because just multiple things came up that I was like, yeah, I'm done with you. But there's a love triangle in this book. And I want to say somewhere in the reviews of this book, because I read reviews before I usually read things, someone said, oh, it's not really a love triangle, it's more like the girl just trying to figure out who she trusts. No, it's a love triangle. She's thinking about both of these guys romantically. I'm pretty sure that makes this a love triangle. So we have two guys in here. The first guy is the quiet, stoic, brooding type, has cruel side to him. He's like pale, he's got dark hair, dark eyes. He's just like the definition of dark and brood. No! Shion, are you okay? The guy is literally the definition of dark and brooding. Meanwhile, let me introduce you to the other guy. He is like the outgoing, jokey, trickster type. He's got lighter hair, he's got lighter eyes. In conclusion, these two guys are exact opposites of each other. At the same time, this book is supposed to be like a Chinese spin on the Cinderella story. Sorta. There's a lot of Cinderella-like themes throughout the first act of the book. Mind you, there are 4 acts. So the rest of the book isn't really that. But it's sort of modeled that way, as in like the character herself has not had the best home life, not the best upbringing. She had an okay upbringing in her earlier years, but then things turned bad later on. And she had this aunt who was physically and verbally abusive to her. So when she finally gets out from beneath her step-aunt's thumb, she gets introduced to these two guys and starts to almost instantly think romantically about the first guy. I wasn't really sure what I was thinking about this. And especially after later on when that guy becomes he's cruel to people. I guess I instantly judge and write people off that way. When she gets further introduced to the second guy and starts thinking about him romantically, and also given the fact that these two guys are exact opposites from each other, I, if anything, was getting turned off. Because remember, this is a Cinderella retelling. This girl comes from a not so great home life. Okay, I gotta put this book down. This girl doesn't have the best home life. So instead of getting like romantic love triangle vibes, I was getting more so the idea that this girl was so love-starved and craving acceptance from anyone that she was willing to sort of be with anyone. The thought ran through my head multiple times where I'm just like, girl, at this rate, I think you just want to be with anyone and you just want love and acceptance from anyone because you haven't had anything like that since you were young. I was not getting the right vibe from it, and if anything, it didn't seem healthy to me. That's another reason why I ended up DNFing it, because I just couldn't take it anymore. But see what I'm talking about? Where having the two love interests, the two guys, be exact opposites from each other doesn't really work out. If anything, it actually makes the girl look kind of dumb. Because, I mean, come on girls, we all have a type. We have our different types in guys that we like. I have my own type and I know it very well. Which is why I don't think I'd ever be stuck in a love triangle situation, because for one, I barely ever see my type, but 2, I know what I want, and I know the standards that I have, and I am not going to find myself stuck in between 2 guys like that. At least if I was put in a certain love triangle situation that we see nowadays. But yes, when you have the situations where the 2 guys are exact opposites, where they are day and night, sun and moon, it really doesn't make sense, and it makes the girl look like she doesn't know what she wants. I don't mean like, because I know that is sometimes the point of these, where it's the whole like, oh, the girl doesn't know what she wants, but this is like, they're exact opposites, guys. She should at least have some things down of what she likes and dislikes in a guy. It really doesn't make sense. And like I said, it makes the female main character look kind of dumb and really unsure about her life at that point. That's why I think if we're going to continue to see love triangles, we need to see ones that are a bit better written. Maybe ones where the guys aren't so different and that they do have similarities, so it makes sense why the girl is caught in between the 2. I know sometimes they have different ties, like maybe one's the childhood friend, the other one's the new guy. That's usually the case in a lot of situations too. still give them some similarities, some things they do have in common, so it does make sense why the girl is so stuck in between them. Point number 2 of why I think love triangles need to be rethought nowadays. Again, situation of the 2 guys, only one is a literal walking red flag, and the other guy is clear as day, perfect for the girl. You don't know how many times I've seen this before in love triangles, and it drives me up the wall. The perfect example of it is actually the series Keepers of the Lost Cities. Some of you may not know this series, but for those of you who started reading as juveniles and continued on through your preteen and your teen years, you have probably read Keepers of the Lost Cities. I own this series. I have such a love-hate relationship with it. I will probably cover it at one point, but this series has a love triangle in it. To be specific, it's actually a love square, but the other guy, yeah. But primarily, it's a love triangle throughout most of the series. And in this book specifically, our main character, Sophie, she ends up sort of being with one of the guys in this love triangle. And he's a walking red flag. I'm a bit worried, really. You don't know how many instances I've seen where one of the guys is so clear he is not the one for the girl. He has some really worrying traits in him. I don't mean flaws. I don't mean character flaws. Because depending on the flaws, they can be worked out and they give the character depth and it shows character growth. No, I'm talking about the characters who they are so far gone. They have character flaws, but they've grown into something worse. And in this case, the guy is like a little narcissist. Sophie girl, I don't know what you see in him. I mean, for a little bit of backstory, so this girl Sophie and all these people around her, they are technically elves and they live in these hidden cities around the world. And this guy, who's the walking red flag, Fitz, whom she happens to have a crush on for pretty much the entire series until the newest book that just released, where she finally ends up with the guy who's like, yes, hello, he's been there since almost day 1 for you. He is literally the guy for you. Anyways. You guys could probably tell this is a really sore subject for me. I've talked about this series with a friend so many times and we've ranted to each other about it and it's like... Anyways, so she's had a crush on this guy Fitz since pretty much... No, not since. She has since day 1. And he is the one who introduced her to the world where she actually comes from and belongs to. So I suppose maybe that makes sense for why she feels more attached to him and more like she has to keep liking him. Because it's more of like a nostalgia factor. But the thing is, this guy, for one, he's a bit full of himself. He has pride issues, serious pride issues. He has serious anger issues. Like there's this one instance in the series where there's this situation where Sophie ends up being at the spot where Fitz's dad practically dies, but it's not her fault. But then Fitz proceeds to blame her for everything. He proceeds to shut her out of his life completely, just totally gives her the cold shoulder, acts as if she doesn't exist. And I want to say he only apologizes to her after everything's fine and his dad ends up living. So he only apologizes to her when things are going well. And not when he actually sees that he was wrong. That's another thing about his character, is that he apparently does not know how to properly apologize and change. All the times where he messes up big time because of his flaws that he doesn't want to, realize, he will apologize in word only and then proceeds to shower Sophie with gifts, instead of actually working on changing and becoming a better person. That is a big major red flag for characters and just people in real life in general. So that is why people who still ship Sophie with Fitz, I do not understand you. I do not know why you would ship Sophie with a literal narcissist. If you do, I'm concerned about your judgment and your own standards and guys. Sorry, it's a fact. Meanwhile, on the opposite side of the spectrum, you've got Keith. Now, Keith is not a perfect character. He has his own problems and flaws that he works through and tries to be better at. Him and Sophie just connect in a way that Sophie and Fitz never did. He's been there for her pretty much since the first time he met her, I want to say. In a time where, Fitz turned his back on her, Keith was there for her. He was a friend for her when she needed one. She was also there for him. They confided in each other about things. And even for me, the first time I read this book, or not this book, but the series years ago, by book 4, I already knew. I'm like, Keith is the one for you, Sophie, not Fitz. It is clear as day. Even by then, I'm like, Fitz just is not the one for you. Keith gets you in ways that Fitz just doesn't, and I don't think he ever will. Another major problem was that throughout the series, Sophie was never fully comfortable around Fitz. She felt like she had to be perfect. She felt like she had to not mess up in any way. She felt like since Fitz was like the most popular guy at school, she had to just keep this pristine way about her, and she never felt fully comfortable or at ease around him. Whereas with Keith, she pretty much felt fine around him all the time. She felt comfortable with him. The only time where she felt uncomfortable was when she finally realizes Keith's feelings for her. She realizes she feels the same, and then she's kind of, when they were kind of in the limbo state where they weren't really sure, like, okay, are we going to become a thing or not? That was like, I want to say, the only instance where she felt a little uncomfortable around him. Other than that, they just connect so well, and they get each other in ways that Sophie and Fitz don't and won't ever. And mind you, there are 9 books in this series. These books are all super long. And it was only in the 9th book that Sophie and Keith finally became a thing towards the end of the book, mind you, too. Oh my word, Miss Shannon Messenger, you are putting us through so much. But yeah, it's like, look, I don't really want to be mean to Fitz. There are times where I do want to throw a brick at him, but I want him to be better. I want him to become a better character. I don't know. At this rate, it's been 9 books and he hasn't changed, like, at all. That's why I say, like, I don't even ship him with anyone. Because in my head, I'm still like, you need to work on yourself way too much. You are not safe to be with anyone. You need to start getting your eyes off yourself and thinking about other people and not worrying so much about your image.
Yeah, this series, I have such a love-hate relationship with it.
But yes. Now, this series is not the only case where I've seen this. I've seen it a couple other times where it's like one guy is perfect for the girl, the other guy just, while he may not exactly be a red flag, he just doesn't connect with the girl the same way the other guy does. And it's, at least to me, it is so clear. I'm like, why, girl, why don't you feel it too? It's like, it's so obvious. Now again, like I said, I get it. Some people do enjoy this back and forth and this, oh, who's she gonna like, who's she gonna end up with factor. But the thing is, if it's a case like this, where the two just connect on a certain level where the girl doesn't connect with the other guy, at that point, it's clear to us, I feel, so why are we even, like, enjoying it at that point? So that was point number 2. Point number 2 being one guy is literally a walking red flag or just clearly doesn't get the girl in the same way the other guy does, or the other guy is just clear as day, perfect for her, and just girl fails to see it soon enough, and again, it kind of makes her look a little dumb. Not as much as the first point, but in this case, So my third and final point is actually a bit of a reverse from the first one, a little bit, where instead of the girl looking dumb, it's the guys looking dumb. In this case, my point is the girl herself is pretty dumb and not exceptional. And so it makes the two guys look a little dumb because it's like, what do you see in her? I don't want to be so negative and mean to characters and to writers, but there are some instances where the girl just is really clueless most of the time. And she just, really, why are you guys fighting over her? She is not, I hate to use this Jasmine quote in this way, but she is not a prize to be won. But I'm saying it in a way of like, she's not that great. I guess an example of this again is the KOTLC series, where she had 3 of her guy friends, not these 2, okay? Not these 2, thankfully. But this guy's too old for her, so obviously he can't. This guy's like the only one who never liked her at the start. She has 3 of her guy friends liking her for no clear reason. And Sophie herself is not the smartest character. Again, I've talked about this subject with my friend before, and we both agree, especially her when she reread the series again. We were like, yeah, Sophie, she's not the best main character. Sometimes she can be kind of dumb and kind of just, really clueless. I mean, it's a joke in the book that they call her, no, it's, her last name's Foster, so they call this thing she has the Foster Oblivion, because she can be so oblivious to things. Actually, I think it's just Keith that talks about that with her. But she is so oblivious. Sometimes she is literally so awkward and just, like, I really don't understand why she had 3 guys liking her at the same time. Mind you, simultaneously, she has, in her world, she is special because she has like 5 abilities when the normal person only has 1. So at that rate, when the character herself is not that great and the only thing she has going for her is her abilities, it then almost, if you spin it this way, makes it seem like the guys only like her for her abilities and not for who she is as a person. That's the vibe I get when I see this case. I feel like another example of this would actually be Red Queen, where, what's her name? Mare, right. See how that book has stuck with me. Where Mare has, yeah, I think Maven liked her. Mare has both princes liking her, but she herself is a kind of bland character. She doesn't really have any character or depth to her. She's pretty boring, pretty dull, pretty clueless. And the only thing she has to her name is her ability, which I believe is sort of new. And the fact that she's exceptional in that one point. So then at that rate, when you have this character who's not really anyone to begin with, and the only thing they have is that they're special in their abilities or in their hierarchy somehow, it makes you wonder whether the guys who like the girl are actually liking her for who she is, or if they only like her because of her status, her powers, the fact that she's just different, or something like that. When I say that I want the guy to like the girl character, I mean like I want him to like her for who she is entirely. All of her strengths, all of her talents, her flaws, he sees it all and he still likes and accepts her for that. But at the same time, you can't have that if you're writing characters who are just bland and boring and don't have any internal conflict or inner strife or struggle or depth. So it's like a kind of, it goes hand in hand with the fact that you need to write characters who actually have depth and just aren't characters solely because you need a character for your plot idea. And that's my third point. Because when you have that situation where the girl herself is not that great, she's kind of dumb and clueless, it makes the guys then look dumb because it's like, you could probably do better than her. It's like, it's usually the situation of, yeah, where the girl is sort of ordinary / she has an ability, and then the 2 guys who like her are like incredible and like gorgeous, or like every other girl likes them too. It's like, it makes one wonder, what do you see in this one specifically when it doesn't seem like she has anything special going for her. Yeah. And those are my 3 points on why I don't really like love triangles nowadays. Like I said, it stemmed from the first love triangle I was ever introduced to was so poorly executed and awful. But as I've grown and I've started to read more things that have them in it, I find myself just really dissatisfied. So then you might be like, okay, Bella, well, if you know everything, what do you think a love triangle should have? Glad you asked. Well, starting off, going off of my first point, if you're going to write a love triangle, make the 2 guys kind of similar to each other. Have them have some, I guess, character traits that are similar, so that way you can see why the girl's interested in both of them. Maybe they do both have traits of the type she likes, and that it makes it just make more sense. Compared to having 2 guys who are exact opposites. One's the childhood friends, the other's the new guy. And so it really doesn't make sense why she likes both of them when... Yes. So write more similarities in between them, whether it's looks, whether it's character traits, it could be either or. I would take anything at this point. To combat my second point of once the walking red flag, maybe change it. For one, don't make one of them the walking red flag, but make both of them just have character flaws. Flaws that can be worked through, not flaws that they refuse to see. Have it that they both have problems, so that way the girl has to sort of see, well, which guy do I end up connecting with at the end of the day, and which guy can I see myself with more? Because that is true too. I feel like a lot of the time when these guys are introduced, they just seem perfect. No. Everyone has their problems and mistakes they've made and just their flaws that they struggle with. So write both of them to have character flaws. Then if anything, it will actually make the love triangle more interesting, because then the girl has to see, yeah, these 2 guys are human. And then to combat the third one, I think to work through that. You just gotta make sure that your characters are written with the internal conflict and depth that they need to actually register as human. Because I feel like I can't really say anything other than that. Because if you don't have those things, the characters are going to feel really just detached and not real. And the thing is, the thing that you are trying to achieve as a writer is making your characters realistic and relatable. And in order to do that, you need to give them that depth and that inner strife and the struggle. So that way, people can relate to them. And by doing so, you can also make them interesting. You can give them their strong moments and their weak moments, and it will actually make sense. And then it won't seem like the guys are fighting over this bland, I guess, dumb blonde, I guess. Because in this case, I guess it could be. I guess Sophie could be considered a dumb blonde sometimes. But yeah, that's my rant of why I really don't like love triangles. I don't think I've yet to come across a love triangle that I've liked. I don't think. And I'm not sure if I ever will, because I'm so far into my life, I'm pretty sure the chance for me to like love triangles is gone. But this is me trying to be open to the idea and trying to give pointers for what could be better in love triangles. Yeah, I hope you enjoyed my rant. Bye!